was Easter 2002, and I found myself desperate, crying out to God, Lord, I don't want to go into Easter with the same understanding that I have of the cross. For a lot of people, they see the Bahamas as a fun place to be. They would have gotten that impression from a lot of the commercials advertising our islands. But in many ways, it is really an uphill battle. I think back on my years of pastoring, seasons where I've been very weary. I realized that I'm not sure I could still be doing this 19 years later if I had not received some help.
Cedric was totally immersed in the church. In fact, Cedric served in every capacity that you could imagine, from administration, from going and visiting persons who were not well, counseling, everything, preaching practically every Sunday. In addition to that, Cedric was and continues to be an important moral voice in our country by way of a column, as well as radio interviews that were conducted from time to time. But all of those things would wear on the very best of us. And I saw it in Cedric as we spoke privately. And I just got a sense that, all of these things were weighing on Cedric.
In the process of searching for resources on the cross, I came across Sovereign Grace Ministries. I found a message series on the cross by C.J. Mahaney, who I later found out leads Sovereign Grace. C.J. preached on the cross as a matter of first importance, and I listened and wept because I had missed the matter of first importance. As my relationship with Sovereign Grace began to grow, I was given the wonderful privilege of attending classes at the Pastor's College a week at a time. And this thought about coming to the Pastor's College, not just on a weekly basis, but on a full-time basis, really began to develop in my mind.
I remembered when Cedric shared his desire to attend the Pastor's College. I thought he was attending the Pastor's College alone. And when he said, we all will be going to the Pastor's College, I was shocked.
After a moment of silence, and I wasn't sure what she was going to say, she just said, sweetheart, if that's what God is saying, then we just need to pray and see how we can do it.
In a way, I expected it because each time he would come back from the Pastor's College, there would be this excitement, this joy of sharing all the things that he had learned and his desire to grow more.
The first concern that came to mind was, how would the church be cared for? Because I'm the only pastor at the church. Then, as I looked into the cost of the Pastor's College, I realized it was very expensive. So I wasn't sure how we were going to do all of that.
When Cedric came to me and talked about the prospect of going to the Pastor's College, I was really 100% behind him, and I thought that that would be a period of refreshing for Cedric. My mind was made up immediately that whatever he needed me to do, I was prepared to do.
God was gracious. God provided men at the church, heroes, I would say, who stepped in and led the church in my absence. And then also Sovereign Grace was extremely generous. They provided finances towards the expenses of the Pastor's College. Then we also had churches in the Florida region send their pastors at their expense, and they preached over a number of weekends, supporting the men who were here, caring for the church while carrying on full-time jobs. The context of the Pastor's College is really conducive to a man growing in his marriage. And that was my experience. I grew in my appreciation for my wife. I realized, in a lot of ways, I took for granted many things that she did.
The pastors' wives met monthly, and honestly, I did not know what to expect. In the Bahamas, we are considered to be a bit reserved, but what I found shocking in our women's meeting was women would openly confess their sins, talk about marital conflicts that they had. And so that was new to me, and I had to get used to it. The church can only be as strong and as productive as families are. I saw Cedric grow in the area of humility like never before. I saw a man who would invite input from his wife and his children. I saw a man who was quicker to listen than to speak. And that was just amazing for me to see him grow like that.
When I think of how, from start to finish, Alexine supported the decision and the direction that I had for the Pastors College, the sacrifices that she made to come with me and to serve in ways that enabled me to give myself to study, my respect for her has increased and my love for her has deepened. There are many ways that I've changed as a pastor, having gone to the Pastors College. But perhaps the most significant way is that, as a pastor, I'm far more patient with people who've been redeemed by Christ, but many times are still struggling in particular ways. At the Pastors College, I really was able to appreciate that though people have been redeemed by Christ, there is a process by which he conforms them to his own image. And as I watch people struggle with sin, I'm far more patient and far more compassionate with people as they walk through the transformation process.
Having served alongside Cedric in the church and having moments of being very busy at church, I knew that going to the Pastors College would have been refreshing for both of us, as it would have strengthened his leadership as a pastor. It would have strengthened me as a wife and a mother, and my role in supporting him as he cares for the church. And so I'd just like to say thank you to Sovereign Grace Ministries for allowing that to happen.
Much of what Cedric was able to do would not have been possible were it not for the generosity of Sovereign Grace Ministries. And for us, this is unusual. It's really unusual for a church to make that kind of investment. Particularly during that time, we were not officially a part of Sovereign Grace Ministries, but they saw the need to be generous to us. So I would really like to take this opportunity on behalf of all of the members of Kingdom Life Church in Nassau, Bahamas, to extend our deepest and our profound appreciation to CJ and the leadership team at Sovereign Grace and the membership broadly, just to thank you for your kindness towards Kingdom Life.
As I think back on how the Pastors College has equipped me to serve here in the context of my local church in Nassau, words honestly cannot sufficiently express the profound gratitude that I have for all those who made it possible. So thank you.